Blake, how are we doing today, man?
Doing well. How are you guys doing? Appreciate you guys having me on.
Okay. Yes.
Absolutely, Blake. We know you're a big Buckeye guy. Remind us the name of the channel you are kind of participating with online.
Yeah, it's called the Silver Bulletin. You can find us online at tsilverbulletin.com and Saturday Cadence for our National College Football Show.
Okay, that sounds good. Look, as a lifelong Wisconsin Badgers fan, being from Wisconsin myself, I'll never tune in. I promise. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Shit, I might need to find a new team at this point. We are so damn screwed, and that football program has absolutely gone to shit in Wisconsin. It was good. It was trending down, and Luke Fickell was supposed to be the guy to get on track, and he's only made things 10 times worse. We got Barry Alvarez calling us freaking spoiled, even though that team hasn't won shit in forever. You, however, Blake, you have a cushy life as an Ohio State fan. You're living good again, man. I mean, how you feeling about the team this year? Obviously, I'm sure pretty good, but, maybe compared to other seasons, how you feeling about this team comparatively maybe last year, year before?
Yeah, no, I do feel really good right now. And I think one of the biggest reasons for that is that defense. I mean, we were talking on our show this week is you look at the spread of a game if you pick Ohio State against the number, and then you almost think, all right, how many points can Ohio State score? Subtract the spread, and you're like, can the other team get that many? Like, is there a team that can score 20 on Ohio State right now? I don't know. It's tough. You got Caleb Downs on the back end of that defense, arguably the best player in college football. Sonny Styles and Arvell Reese are the best linebacker duo, and Caden Curry's been an animal on the defensive line. And that's crazy because Jeremiah Smith is the best player in the country, and he's on offense. And that's not even the first thing you talk about with Ohio State. Sayan's completing over 80% of his passes. Bo Jackson's a great freshman running back, not to mention Carnell Tate and Max Clare, and probably the best offensive line by stats right now. I mean, it's a long season. There's a lot of time to go. But just through the first 5 weeks, it's hard to find a weakness on Ohio State the way they've been playing. And Ryan Day's been great, keeping them hungry every single week, not being satisfied. You don't want to get caught looking ahead in any spots like that. This team's been really focused, and that's been great to see after losing so many guys to the NFL draft last year. Now they come back and they reload, and this team is hungry. They haven't won anything yet. They keep saying that. These players haven't. They've actually taken down some of the regalia in the facility, and they're hungry for a championship, and that's the edge that this team's playing with, which is really good. And it's not something that we're used to seeing from a defending champion team.
I was going to say, when you got a defending champion, they're usually a little bit like comfy, cozy. So they're,
Right.
I was going to say, they're like, that defense especially is playing like they never won a championship before. I mean, you kind of touched on all the reasons why they're dominating. And obviously you got teams like Oregon and Ole Miss. You got some pretty good, you got some ballers up at the top. Bama's coming back alive. Georgia's always competitive. I mean, there's a lot of really good teams at the top right now. I mean, is Ohio State, I mean, realistically, be totally real. Is that the team to beat right now? I mean, the defense probably is the best in the country, like you said, but is that the team to beat?
Yeah, I mean, you see all these other teams in the country. Miami's looked really good. Oregon has also looked good. I think those are the three top teams. I think there's a little bit of a drop-off after that. And, yeah, Ohio State's won the national championship, and they look the part again this year. You're not just saying this with, oh, yeah, they're the defending champs, so they get benefit of the doubt. I think they've actually earned it by their play on the field, too. Sure, has Texas disappointed a little bit? Yeah, but Texas still has really good players. That was still a really great game. They can still turn that season around. There's good players in that program. Slowing down Washington, they're scoring 55 points a game. Going to 6 points. I mean, Damon Williams. I mean, just
I was at that game. I live out in Washington. I was at that game, and Iman said, "I'm drinking tequila, having glizzies at halftime," and it was kind of close. And look, Jeb Fish, to me, I've never been a fan of the guy. I've been a fan of him for bringing over Damon Williams and Jonah Williams. That's it. Otherwise, like you saw how he cost that team literally first two plays. Jeb Fish gets them screwed. And then that was Sayan's first away game as a starter. Was really impressed. Obviously, Washington's defense is nothing special, but he held his own. That stadium, man, gets so loud. They got the overhang on. It gets absolutely loud in there, and that place was packed to the brim. So Julian Sayan definitely impressed in that first away game.
Yeah, he did. That's what's been so special with having a defense that good is Ryan Day, Brian Hartline. They've gotten to slowly bring him along because they're not trying to go out and say, oh, we have to score 40 points. We have to do this on offense. Ohio State doesn't have to do anything on offense. That's special. And that's one of the luxuries you have with a defense that's that good. I mean, Ohio State was, they threw the ball downfield a little bit, but how many throws, 20-plus yards, did Sayan have in the game? I don't think he had any. They were just running the football. They were taking what the defense gave them. And what is really cool about this team, because of how versatile it is and all the skill positions, Ohio State can beat you in many different ways. Against Texas, they chose to win the game with a conservative game plan and with defense. And then with Washington, they said, we're going to, again, smother you with defense, and we're going to be conservative, but not as much. And they still could win the game. You don't even have to think about it. And then PJ Fleck last week in his post-game press conference goes, I've not seen a defense like that in 13 years. It's so hard to diagnose. And it's so insane to me. Again, we're going to go right back to it. How are you talking about this Ohio State team with Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate, 2 first-round picks, and a 5-star quarterback, and a stud offensive line and a stud transfer tight end? And the first thing you talk about is the whole defense and Matt Patricia.
Yeah, which now I do say it's kind of early in the season. I think Michigan 2 years ago was a pretty good defense too.
They were.
And I don't want to bring up Michigan around you. Not yet. It's a little too early. I was going to bring them up later.
We think about them every day.
But being it is kind of early in the season, who do you think what team left on the schedule, or just looking ahead to the college football playoffs, which, I mean, something drastic's got to happen for y'all not to make it. But what you think, what team will kind of give y'all the most struggles, you think?
I think Illinois is going to present a different challenge this week. I don't know what the scoreboard will be, but I think they'll show Ohio State some different things, especially if the offensive line is able to play well for Illinois. But I'm really looking down the schedule at a team like Penn State because they're going to be in desperation mode. Now, we know that the narrative around James Franklin and them in big games, and they've not beaten Ohio State since 2016. But that team is backed into a corner in desperation mode. They've got to go to Iowa beforehand. So right now you can say if there's any championship medal in that team, they beat Iowa, and then they come into Columbus like one of the top 10 teams in the country, not like the unranked team that's going to end up in Columbus. That's how you have to look at it for Penn State as of right now. I mean, you have to play with them that way. They're going to play better than the film suggests. It's a rivalry game. But am I just like you were saying? I mean, it's the game. That's the biggest one. I look down that schedule.
Okay.
Michigan. I mean, Bryce Underwood at quarterback, Justice Haynes. That is the game. Ohio State's not gotten over that hump in 4 years now. They haven't won the game since 2019. They didn't play because of COVID in 2020. You have got to win that game for Ohio State. We saw what the loss did last year. There was 2 things that could have happened. If that was a young team, they don't win the national championship last year. They don't beat Tennessee. That team had grown men in that locker room that could have a players-only meeting with Coach Day. They hashed everything out. And then they go reach their potential, go win a national championship, and blow every team off the field.
I remember that last year. They were calling for Ryan Day's job after that. I was like, what? He's winning 80% of his games, which was weird to me because I still think he's just a great coach. But I remember they were calling for his job.
It's because you're measured against what you do in the game. I mean, John Cooper is a perfect example in the 90s for Ohio State. Look at all the games that he won and the teams he had and the players that he had. He was 2-13 in that game. That is when you say John Cooper to an Ohio State fan, the first thing they'll tell you is he had 2 wins against Michigan.
Couldn't beat Michigan.
That's the first thing they tell you. What's the first thing you think about with Urban Meyer? Yeah, that great run in 2014, but he was 7-0. Jim Tressel, he was 9-1. That's how you define those head coaches at Ohio State. That's how you define players. Like C.J. Stroud's elite. He didn't win that game. Like you almost look at those players with the ceiling or those coaches with the ceiling if you're not winning that game. And now the 12-team playoff has done something we've never seen in this sport. If there was a 14 format, Ohio State didn't go to the playoff or win a title last year after losing to Michigan because that's their second loss. Now you have an opportunity to go win a game. That was uncharted territory. So for Day, he kind of gets viewed in a different light because Jim Tressel didn't have a playoff. John Cooper didn't have a playoff. Urban Meyer had a 14 playoff. He never lost to Michigan. But those games against Purdue and Iowa that he lost kept Ohio State from the playoff. Now, Ohio State had a bad loss to a 4-loss team last year. They go to the playoff as the 8 seed, and they can go win a title. It's something new. There's a new way now to evaluate these coaches. But I think for Ryan Day and Ohio State, they know the game is the game, and that's the big focus. You look on that schedule, number 1 priority is Michigan.
Always is. You know what is funny though? We had a Ohio State fan on earlier, or one of the first episodes, and he was saying, "Circle the Penn State game. That's going to be the one like that might decide the championship." And obviously, that has completely changed. But like you just said, now it's different circumstances. Now Penn State's coming in with nothing to lose.
Right.
Granted, like their pass game is absolutely a net. Matt Patricia should absolutely dog walk those boys around the field on defense, and you guys should probably have whatever you want with them, but. A team with nothing to lose, playing us out of desperation. That's some scary stuff, man. Is that one? Where is that one being played, by the way?
That one's in Columbus. And I think you'll see something similar to Florida last week playing Texas. Like, that was desperation mode for the Gators.
Yeah.
And they come and they win that game. I mean, Florida has good players. Penn State has good players. It's just, do you have the championship medal to play to your potential in that big spot?
Yeah. Well, we've talked a lot about how great Ohio State is. What about like where they most exploitable? Because like you said, they're pretty good. They got the best player in the country. And I was premature in the last episode when Jeremiah Smith still got another 2. He still has another season there after this,
Right.
which is
That's the thing people
terrifying for
forget.
college football.
For everybody.
That's terrifying for everybody. It should
Yep.
be. So where is this team most exploitable then?
I think they're most exploitable in 2 places. The first will be complacency, and that's just the psyche of the team, which is why I think Ryan Day and the leadership of the team, players-wise, they're trying to keep them hungry every single week, especially now with Penn State losing. That game has lost a little bit of its luster. But you go in there and take Penn State lightly. They have good players in that program. They have a good coaching staff. I know the narrative around them. So I think that's one area. The second area, I think, is if they become one-dimensional in a game offensively by having to throw the football. If they cannot run the football, I think that's going to be the biggest thing. Yeah, the offensive line's playing really well, and Bo Jackson is averaging over 7 yards a carry as a freshman. But what if he doesn't? What if James Peoples or C.J. Donaldson just suddenly they don't? What if you have a defense that can not take away Jeremiah Smith but maybe limit him the way Texas did, and Ohio State has to throw the football, but they can't get 3rd and 1 or 4th and 2? What if they can't convert in short yardage? What if, like against Ohio, they can't convert in the red zone one day? Like that, those are all possibilities. So I think for Ohio State is if they get into a game where they become one-dimensional and can't run the football or convert in short yardage, how can they win the game? Can they rely on the defense? What if special teams gives up a touchdown or a blocked field goal? Things that you don't think about. I think if Ohio State is susceptible, if they can't convert in short yardage, which they're not that great at this year statistically, and in the red zone we saw that against a MAC team in Ohio where they couldn't convert. What if that happens against Penn State or Michigan? What if you're on the road?
You're worried about
You're
worried about if they get smacked in the mouth, how they respond, essentially.
Yeah. And I mean, again, there's championship medal on the team because some of these guys won a championship last year, and this team's obviously hungry. But if the game doesn't go the way that you scripted, or if it's not played on your terms, what do you do with that?
Yeah. Looking at this team this year, I mean, as you can see, y'all went out and spent a lot of money for the roster. So it's talent all over. But I know you went back to Coach Cooper, Coach Tressel, Coach Urban. Where does this team stack up all time? Even last year, I mean, winning the Natty, but y'all did lose a couple games. So where does this year team stack up from past teams, and which Ohio State team that you think was the best you've seen in your lifetime?
So the most talented team I've seen for Ohio State was 2015. They did not win a national championship. And they struggled in some of the areas I just mentioned with this year's team where I'm worried. But like Day has said in the press conferences, they haven't won anything yet this year. So it's hard to say where they're going to stack up. Now, if they play like this for the whole year and we project and they win the national championship again with this defense, it could be the best team in program history. And then I don't know if giving up 5 points a game is sustainable for 15 or 16 games in a season. But if you're giving up less than 10 for the whole season, I mean, it could be one of the best teams of all time. I mean, it's hard to say that on October 10th, here in week 6, week 7.
Also crazy with a young QB, real young QB.
Right, because Sayin has another year. Jeremiah Smith has another year. Bo Jackson has 2 more years. I mean, there's so much talent on this team everywhere. And this was the year. I mean, I would tell you last year, the window was last year and 26. I didn't think the team this year would be this good. But there's that talent, so the potential's there. It's just like Texas. They have a young quarterback and they have good talent, but they're not playing to that potential. I was worried that could be a thing for Ohio State, but it's not. You just don't know until you see the results on the field. That's why preseason polls are so difficult, because you just don't know until you play the games. So this team could absolutely end up being one of the best teams in program history. It could absolutely end up being one of the best teams in college football history. But they've got to go prove it on the field. They got to beat Michigan, and then they got to go on another run in the playoff and win a title to do that. And they can.
Yeah. I was kind of impressed with the run game, man. I mean, losing Travion Henderson and Quinshon Jenkins in the same year, Junkins, and then you just come back and you're like, oh, by the way, we just got a dude named Bo Jackson. How could that go wrong? What could go wrong here? Especially when you're running at Ohio State. But you said on that 2015 team, and I had to look it up. Yo, I'm telling you, this roster, I know these Ohio State teams are always loaded, but that was the year with Braxton Miller. They had Michael Thomas at receiver. Curtis Samuel was actually a running back for them. He's actually transitioned to receiver now in the NFL. They had Joe Burrow as a freshman QB on the bench. Cardell Jones was on the bench. Zeke Elliott was a junior that year. They had J.T. Barrett on that team. Marshawn Lattimore, Raekwon McMillan, that was a beast in college. Sham Hubbard, Garyon Conley, there's Denzel Ward, that pros up and down the entire line of Jerome Baker. Oh my God, it is just, yes, Josh Cornell.
How the hell didn't y'all win the damn Jalen Holmes? He's from my hometown, Norfolk Lake Teller.
They couldn't get the quarterbacks figured out. It was J.T. Barrett. It was Cardell Jones. It was J.T. Barrett. It was Cardell Jones. It was red zone specialist J.T. Barrett. I mean,
Terry McLaurin on that team.
Yeah.
God.
And then you lose in a monsoon to Michigan State, who didn't lead for the entire game until there's zeros on the clock, and Mitch Geiger's running with the windmill down the field that you still wake up in the middle of the night sometimes and think about. And it's a 14 playoff. You don't go. If that was a 12-team playoff, there is no doubt in my mind that team wins a national championship. There's absolutely no doubt. Urban Meyer in a playoff after that loss. I mean, we saw what they did to Michigan and Notre Dame after that loss to Michigan State. There's no doubt they go and win it. And that's the benefit of this playoff system now, is you get that mulligan, you can have that loss, and you can still go and recover. So on one sense, it's nice. But on the other sense, it was like that game, it felt like the world ended in Columbus that week.
Damn.
Like the sun doesn't come up after a loss sometimes. It really doesn't.
I feel that as a Packers fan. I feel that every Packers loss. Like the sun ain't coming up tomorrow.
No, it's overcast.
Yo, I didn't even finish. Like Joey Bosa on that team, Draymond Jones, Michael Hill. This team was stupid. How this might be the best team I've ever seen not win a championship or something.
Well, but if you know
this is a crazy roster, man.
He's known to lose a few games with crazy rosters. 'Cause down in Florida, he had one of the craziest rosters ever. He's going to lose one or two just because he's not as focused as he should be. But like you said, I mean, that team was crazy. Urban Meyer was he's one of the best recruiters ever. If you go back and look at it, and we talk about it in Nick Saban era where Saban kind of controlled all the 5 stars, Urban Myers could bring them in. I'm not going to lie to you. He could bring them in.
Yeah. Well, how about this, Blake? Our producer, Joey, he is a Fighting Illini fan, and y'all are squaring up this week. Joey, I'm not sure if you got any words. I know you got to have low expectations, but Joey, I mean, face-to-face with an Ohio State fan, you got words or anything?
I just got a few words, and I got to share a graphic with you that our friends at Fox built us here, which is the last 4 times Illinois and Ohio State were ranked and played each other. Illinois came out on top. So I am stoked for this weekend, and it's been circled on my calendar. I got tickets in the pre-sale, and I know I'm excited to see Smith, of course, and Ohio State, but I'm really excited to see what Illinois can really do here, because they already got their teeth kicked in Indiana, right? So that ugly one's out of the way against a good team. And so now they get to show what their worth is against Ohio State. And I really am impressed with Luke Altmaier at quarterback. I think he's one of the top quarterbacks in the Big Ten, to where, people argue about Sand and Moore at Oregon and these other guys, but Altmaier's quietly topping almost all categories for QBR in the Big Ten. And so it's going to be a lot of fun. And I want you, as an Ohio State fan, to get used to the name Hank Beatty running around on your defense. But I am stoked for this weekend. It's one of the biggest games in the last 20 years in Champaign. I know you're used to big games. I'm not. I've seen the bad, lived through the awful. So it's definitely going to be rocking in Champaign this weekend.
Joey, what's your score prediction?
I'm going to go with 30. We'll go with 33-30 Illinois. We'll get a field goal winner like USC.
You think you're going to get that much offense on
that many points?
Why not?
It's going to be like you're going to need to win like 17-14 in this one type of thing.
A slugfest in the rain is what I think what you guys need. Altmaier's great. I mean, and two, Brett Bielema, he's not a stranger to playing Ohio State as the number 1 ranked team in the country. Remember with Terrell Pryor in 2010 going up to Madison, Wisconsin. It was number 1. Wisconsin was ranked 18th in the country. Ohio State came to town for a night game and
Yeah.
they beat them. I mean, Brett Bielema's a great coach, really solid staff there. And Altmaier's been great. I mean, Illinois has good pieces, and Day said in his press conference this week, just throw away that Indiana game. It just wasn't their day. And I believe that that's true. Illinois is a much better team than 63-10 against Indiana. And this is their opportunity to show it. And again, you said you circled it and you got tickets in the presale. They definitely have had this one circled. Anytime Ohio State comes to town, it's a big game, but especially in this kind of moment. Buckeyes haven't been there in about a decade. Brett Bielema knows Ohio State. It's going to be a really good matchup.
Yeah, and that's what I love too with Ryan Day and Bielema is they're perfect for this moment in college football. Like they are the coaches you want in these battles and matchups, not the former NFL guys. Even though Patricia's doing fine as an assistant, but these guys that aren't committed to what college football means, and unlike Dabo Swinney, understanding the moment of how NIL works and how your recruiting's changed. And these guys get it, and Ohio State's obviously the cream of the crop. But Illinois is learning how to get there as well. So it'll be a fun gamesmanship for the two coaches as well in this game. But Altmaier's my pick to click over saying in this one for sure.
Blake, how do you think the game goes, and what's your score prediction then?
He
says ass whooping.
My counterpoint to you,
I get it,
with running all over the defense is Caleb Downs. I mean, he's just a chess piece. You can move anywhere on the field with that defense. If Illinois can score, I will tip my cap to them. I am of the opinion that until I see it, I will not believe that it's possible. I mean, I can see Ohio State in the game 34-10. I can see it 27-6. I mean, I need to see somebody score 2 touchdowns on Ohio State's defense. I mean, can you imagine? You go down the field, you get one. Okay, you go do it again, and then you got to do it again just to get 3 scores. I mean, Minnesota had 66 yards on the opening drive last week. They didn't even have 100 for the rest of the game. I mean, to do it once, great. Go do it again. And then go do it again. Like that's for me where I'm like, okay, can some team score 3 times on Ohio State? And I think Ohio State can score more than 21 points.
Oh, absolutely. You've got Jeremiah Smith. You can do anything at any given moment, realistically. Yeah. And you got a fair point, man. No one's done it yet. Like, I know Texas's offense has really been buns this year, and Arch Manning looks kind of mid, but that offense was inept, and they do got talent.
Right.
But no one else has done any. And Washington, too, that is one of the best offenses in college football. Like I was saying back then when that game started, it was criminal they weren't ranked at the time of that Ohio State game.
Absolutely was.
That offense is one of the top in the nation, and they took care of business on them. So, I don't know, man. Joey, you got points. Like, I like how Altmaier plays. I kind of like how that offense is able to operate within its own system. If they can take care of the ball now, like, I mean, I know they got some center problems or something like that. There's like some exchange problems, something with it. They can't take care of the football sometimes, but they can navigate, like, just live within their offense. And this is kind of like a game coming up in the NFL with, who is it? The Lions, the Bills and Falcons. Falcons got a great defense, and if they're going to want to win that game, they got to limit how often Josh Allen is on the field. They got to keep him off the field, and Illinois is going to have to do the same thing. They're going to need to just control the clock and keep it low scoring if they want to stand a chance. That's kind of what I'm thinking on this one. I don't know, Iman, how do you think that one goes?
Yeah, I'm thinking that too. I think it was going to be kind of more of a 17-10. Now, listen. Now, I'm a bet guy, so I like to go with what's been going on. That the Fox put that up. I think I may take Illinois with the points this weekend because I cannot go against history. I mean, I'm just telling you, I like those stats. So I'm going Illinois with points, but I think it'll be around 17-10 either way.
Iman's got a hot streak betting too. So,
yes.
Joey, let me ask you a question real quick. If Ohio State wins the game by 3 scores, is your takeaway that Illinois was bad or that Ohio State is good? And I would
probably say it. No, I'd probably say it means Ohio State is good,
right?
Because I think if Illinois plays well but loses, even if it's by 3, that's acceptable. It's that Indiana one where they didn't show up. Okay, that's the one that's tough to swallow.
Yeah, and I say that because Illinois is a good team in the affirmative. They are a good team regardless of this outcome. But the takeaway from every game Ohio State's played so far is the opponent is trash. How is that possible? That is how bad Ohio State is beating teams. That's how much the defense is suffocating teams. I mean, every team they play is not bad.
No.
That defense is just that good. And that's to me where I'm like, okay, can someone score 3 times? Can you score on 3 possessions?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And you're not playing Louisiana Monroe. Like, you're playing Big Ten teams now.
Exactly,
So
with real offenses.
no shade to Louisiana Monroe, but,
quarterback.
like, you get what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, great conversation, Blake. Good talking football with you, man. You know, Big Ten guy. We're a lot of Big Ten folks in here. Iman, you got some allegiances to Maryland too, right? I think, shoot, are we all Big Ten folks in here right now?
Listen, I'm right up the street from Maryland, so I
Come
make
on.
a couple games, and I seen Malik Washington for 3 years in high school because my girlfriend is a track coach there, so I watched him for 3 years. He's a pro. He's going to be a pro. So, yeah, it's all Big Ten in here.
SEC who?
Yeah.
bunch of lames down there in the South. But no, Blake, it's been great having you on, man. You know a lot of ball on Ohio State, man. It was great hearing what you had to say on it. And why don't you just, again, one more time, let the people know where they can find all the work that you do out there for those old Buckeyes.
Yeah, guys, I appreciate you having me on. It was great talking with you. You can find us at the Silver Bulletin. That's tsilverbulletin.com. Saturday Cadence. You can find us at Saturday Cadence on all social media, and then me personally at Blake Piscardi. So again, guys, appreciate you for having me on, and go Bucks.
Yes, sir. All right, have a good one, Blake.
You guys too.